Nobody could put your butt to
I
work.
want to hear this gentleman talk nonsense about Darwin.
Already making a presupposition.
Pardon?
Already making a presupposition that I'm
Well,
gonna.
you are going to talk against Darwin, aren't
No,
you?
I'm not gonna. We're gonna talk about learning. We're talking about learning. How do we get to this?
What you got to learn?
Education, the creation of mind, the process called mind.
I'd rather you talk about evolution.
Not today.
We'll discuss
Not
that.
today?
No, we'll discuss that.
Another day, another day.
Well, we can discuss that, but before, that actually ties into what I was about to say is that is evolution. Darwin theory is an observation. Do we agree on that, or no? It's not an observation. It is set in stone. Is that your contention?
Right. I don't know how much you know. I mean, Darwin's.
Is it it's a simple question whether Darwin is an observation or not? Yes or no?
Do you mean that Darwin, the book Origin of Species, is just a compendium of facts?
No, I'm not. It's not facts.
All right.
When I say
Of
observation.
observations.
Observation.
Okay. The best thing you
Observation
can
can be based on facts.
do, yeah, the best thing you can do is to start reading the book, and you would find it's evidence for his book is masses and masses and masses of facts
Right.
to support his idea of the origin of species by means of natural selection, or the preservation of favoured races in the struggle for life. The book is more than observation, mate. It is a book, a massive argument. It's been called a massive argument, a long argument to support natural selection as a means of species changing and of species originating.
So you must have studied this chapter 6 of that book as well.
I think the book is almost impossible for a modern person to read,
Well-
except if it's annotated. I do have an annotated origin
It's a
of
very-
species, and that explains many of the things that are now
That
not
chapter
so
is
easy to
actually called-
understand, because Darwin was a 19th century writer.
In the chapter 6, it discusses the problems with this theory. Right? And those are the exact same problems that we see, that exact same data has been used.
No, actually, one of the handicaps that Darwin was under is that he found it very hard, if not impossible, to explain how variation came about between individuals within the species as something for natural selection to act on. He just took it that the variation existed. He found it impossible, because he didn't understand anything, of course, about genetics. So he wasn't able to understand the origin of the variation
Right.
that natural selection acted on.
So it is an observation.
After all that, you can say, oh, well, there was still an observation. No!
It's a-
No, I just told
to
you
me-
what it
to
was.
me-
No. I'm about to walk away, because I can't abide people who say it's an observation. No, it's more than that. It's
me,
a
it
selection
is-
of facts designed to support his idea of how species can change and how species can originate
How far
by
we
means
can go
of
in the
natural
past?
selection.
How
It's
far-
a damn sight more than
How far we
observation.
can go in the past with this theory? How far? Like, is it the beginnings of the universe? And when we say beginnings of the universe,
I don't think there was life at the beginnings of the universe.
if you allow me to finish, I'll complete my point. What I'm saying is that how old is this universe? We're saying there are numbers like 13 billion or 14 billion years this universe has existed at the beginning of. So with the Darwin evolution, right? How far are we going with this? Like, how far would you put up? Have you read a number? How
About
far?
4.5 billion.
4.5 billion. So basically, what we're saying is that the fossil record that we have for it, which is, by the way, a subfield of biology, and I don't know, and this is arguable as well. That how could that be an evidence for a fact of Darwinism evolution being
You
that?
don't know much.
No, listen.
So, sorry,
It is a
no, I don't mean to be
phylogenetic.
rude to you, but you look like a nice human being, but there's a library up there, use it.
Okay, let's not. I will. Okay, if you don't want to discuss it, I want to discuss which is actually a fundamental way before we discuss the observation of science, which is the philosophy of science. We have assumptions before we do experiments. We do the scientific experiments. Yes or no?
Yeah.
There are assumptions, right? Before we do.
They're called hypotheses.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's supported by facts.
We have
They're called hypotheses. And the reason
I'm
I draw
actually
that
making a
distinction
simpler.
is because they are assumptions based on evidence at the time. They're not just randomised, oh, I think this, right? They're
How
not
do you
thought
make that
bubbles.
jump? How do you make that jump from having the, how do we get to a point where we have the ability to even observe? That's my actual question.
You're jumping around too much for me.
No.
Yes, you are.
Can I ask you a
Don't say
question?
that.
I'll answer your question, but yeah, let's not digress from.
I don't know who you guys are, and I'm not sure why you're here, except this is a forum for everybody.
What's the fundamentals?
Okay, because I was going to say, it sounds to me like you're coming from a religious perspective.
Look, in order to be an objective person, it's not necessary to rehash or presuppose that who you're talking to. We're just clearly talking about science. Am I not talking about science?
But to me, you sound like a Christian fundamentalist.
Well, I'm not just. Look, I haven't talked about God. I haven't talked about any religion
Are you a
whatsoever.
believer in a
No,
God?
no, this is not necessary. To
Yeah, it is. Because
No, not at all.
it is absolutely necessary to understand the
Let's
background
not
that you're
digress.
coming from.
Let's not digress from it. We do
Well, it is.
assumptions of science or engaging the science. Yes or no?
Well, yes and no. Because sometimes we do experiments and we get results that are unexpected.
Yeah, but
They're
that-
not preceded
that
by
supports my
assumptions.
argument, and that is we go back to the assumption thing. You might go and do an experiment which might go wrong, but you always go back to the assumptions and go fix your equation, right?
No, not necessarily.
So if something is going wrong,
Who says it's going wrong? You do an experiment, you may not be doing an experiment because you want to prove something. You may be doing an experiment to see what happens.
Again,
You don't necessarily go into an
the
experiment.
ability to observe comes in first before we engage in the science. I'm just discussing that before we engage in the science, into the scientific explanation, we have scientific axioms before we do engage in the science.
Well, I'm sorry.
So philosophy of science is irrelevant in order to...
I just think that people like you, if you only did science,
simple-
no, listen, if you only did science, you would realise why you're wrong. If
That's
you
not-
read
that's-
Origin of Species, you would realise what's happening.
You've been able to fail.
You don't read the right things.
Right.
You don't study
So
the
how?
right
So
things.
you read the right things? Is that what
You
you're saying?
criticise science without reading
not criticising
science,
science.
without doing
I'm
science.
not criticizing science. No,
Oh, for
way.
heaven's sake, for heaven's sake. Do you
Look,
realise,
we
do you
look
realise
at-
that, stop talking a minute, stop talking. Do you realise a fact doesn't exist in isolation of any worldview or theory?
I'm not talking about worldviews.
There's no such thing as an isolated fact that is objectively true for all time.
Major assumptions. I'm not talking about. I haven't talked about religion. I haven't talked about any worldview. Have I asked you what your worldview is? No, I'm not. I'm just clearly asking you.
Oh, I think you should know my worldviews.
No. In order to be an objective person, that's not necessitate the fact that
Okay,
you know that.
let's wind back. When Helmut showed me that this book had come from you,
No.
immediately,
No, it's not.
no, you lent it to him.
I never let you.
Oh,
No, that was the other guy.
That was another
Other
person.
guy.
Other guy. He was standing next to the guy.
We were standing by that in the weekend.
Come on.
Before we Helmut.
He had no beard. He had no beard.
Helmut.
He had no beard.
Before we engage.
You're just assuming
one
we
second.
gave you the book.
One second. Before we engage in science, we have assumptions of science. Yes. How do you make that jump
From what?
from having the ability? I can understand that, but how do you get to a point where you are able to observe, the ability to observe? How do you get to that?
Consciousness.
Consciousness. So consciousness.
Dead
and-
people don't observe anything and unborn babies don't observe
Of
anything.
course. Okay, so consciousness. So
Yeah.
is consciousness now him supporting Darwin evolution? Is him saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, that consciousness is a byproduct of non-rational. Well, isn't that what Darwin is?
Consciousness occurs in all living organisms. The definition of alive means consciousness.
Right.
Now, the first question that anyone should ask is, where does consciousness come from? And there's one simple answer. Production and deployment of energy.
Right. But you have an answer.
A body that has no energy is a dead body. A carcass, a corpse, has no energy.
you have
Energy creates consciousness. Consciousness creates awareness. Awareness creates perception. Perception linked to
Right,
conception
right. Yeah, yeah.
creates
I don't disagree
ideas,
with you.
concepts.
I don't disagree with you. What I was actually saying to the gentleman
Yeah.
is our orders are aligned. There's no
He is a good
disagreement here.
old-fashioned materialist teacher.
The thing is, what I was actually going to say was that before we engage in science, we have assumptions of science, right? So giving an explanation of the assumptions of science by doing scientific explanation, that's a circular argument.
Okay, well,
Like it's like a dog chasing his own tail, basically. But obviously, that does not sit well with the people who believe Darwin theory is set in stone and it's a reality.
see, it's one thing to argue that materialist ideas are dead. I go along with that without any hesitation.
Of course, yeah, of course.
It's another one to say Darwin was wrong. There's no evolution. That's, you wouldn't find a scientist in the world who would propose
Look,
that idea.
we're not, as an objective person, right? I have to accept Darwin theory as a scientific model, and it has reality to it. But that does not necessitate the fact that it's set in stone. No, it's not, because Darwin theory has probabilities, it has assumptions, it has disputes in it. And the very fact that we have used the same data, right? And there are 5 new theories, which actually dismantles Darwin theory to a point. It's indicative of the fact that Darwin theory is not set in stone, but it is a working model, it's a scientific model, and it still has some reality to it. Not set in stone, no, it's not. It has, as the gentleman was saying, yeah. So that's what my contention is here. Like before, that's fine. We can discuss the scientific explanation. Fair.
One thing that helps you understand, while I do not support him all the way, he argued with me for 8 years. And he only gave it away about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
When his daughter, who was in third year university studying physics, learning about quantum physics, grabbed his hand, took him over there and said, hey, he's right. You're wrong, don't argue. No. And he went off. He couldn't believe that his own daughter would tell him he's wrong. It is a science teacher is indoctrinated with Newton and
The
Darwin
70-year-old,
to a far higher degree than what is in the 21st century acceptable.
And by the way, the stuff that I'm saying, this is not from a religious narrative.
Doesn't have to be.
No, it's not at all. The scientific academia, the scientific community is agreed on that. Darwin theory, we believe in that by primary or secondary socialism, that's it. But in reality, the academia, they understand that it is a workable model and it's not set in stone. And this is
They're very conservative.
yeah, very conservative. And on top of that, these all scientists, the majority of them, they're all atheists. They're all atheists, and they
They
understand
say
that.
God doesn't exist, which I, in the first person, object to. For 10 years, I've told people God does exist. And any atheist who comes out and says God does exist, a figment of the human imagination, etc., etc., I say, you wouldn't be here if it weren't for God. And they go, oh, no, pray to your God.
Well, obviously you don't say God, you say energy, right? But that's the
Because
thing. When you
all
talk,
ancient evidence points in that direction. From the subtle essence of India and the Brahmins to Judaism, where it is written space equals God, space equals light.
yes, we discussed that last time.
Right. To Christianity, I am the light of the world. Jesus speaking. Well, then you go into philosophy.
Yeah. So you cannot
Plotinus, 2nd century AD. All that exists emanated from the one.
Yes.
One with capital O. One. All that exists is one because all is energy. That is an illusion.
Yeah, I was very
Matter.
disappointed when he said we are fundamental Muslims. We haven't discussed anything. We're just, as an objective person, you look at the premise,
Yep.
discuss the premise. If you don't have any problems in that premise, then you proceed to the next premise regardless of how way it's going. Now it's up to you to attack that premise and say, okay, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. But unfortunately, the gentleman was not able to distinguish between that we have to do philosophy of science before we engage in the science.
People like him start from the assumption that whoever argues against Darwin is religious.
We're not, look,
It's a wrong assumption because there have been scientists who call themselves atheists. Well known, like Richard Dawkins, who attack certain aspects of Darwinism. Of course, it's 160 years almost since Darwin published The Origin of Species. Now, at least 100 scientists have won Nobel Prizes in biology and medicine who are advancing from Darwin. So it's easy for anyone to say, oh, Darwin was wrong on this or that. He did not sufficient evidence for his conclusion. But that's easy done.
but do we have sufficient now to say that yes, Darwin is set in stone? Still no.
Well, I put it in a simple manner. First, there was creation, then evolution.
Yeah. Evolution is reality. But when the word Darwin theory, Darwin evolution is synonymous with the word evolution, that is the problem. That is the problem. Because we have, again, I'm going to rehash
Well,
that again.
something evolves. And what basically evolved is complex matter from simple.
Yeah, of course.
Although the word matter already gets me a little bit
Yeah, but still it has to be rational, not
hesitant
non-rational.
using it because it's materialistic.
Yeah, of course.
Basically, any atom, any particle, anything solid, liquid, or gas is energy in a compactified form.
Yeah.
So
Either
what
it's
we're
a
really
carbon
talking
derivative
about
or-
is energy.
Yeah, of course. Sure.
But for religious
How-
reasons, scientists will not tolerate anyone publishing that reference. They do not
Politics within
wish
the
people
academia
to
as well.
write.
Yes, of course.
They never gave Einstein a Nobel Prize. He wrote it down. Mass equals energy
Yeah, of course.
divided by c squared. I've got the book, his personal writing, his handwriting,
And it's interesting.
copied. It's Einstein writing, deleting, writing. And there it is. M equals L divided by c squared.
Yes.
By 1905, the L is crossed out and replaced with an old-fashioned E for energy.
Yeah.
The reason being, if you put L for light quanta, then a 15-year-old who's intelligent knows where matter comes from light, pure form of energy. And proven at all the particle accelerators and colliders. CERN proved over 10 years running, with billions upon billions of collisions, that the origin of what we call atomistic matter, gases, liquids, solids, is pure energy. Strange as it
Law of
sounds,
thermodynamics.
but that is possible because it's an interaction of extreme heat and extreme cold. The magnets at the colliders are surrounded by liquid helium, supercooled to minus 272.5 degrees. Anything that collides comes to a standstill, be it for a millionth of a second or less. But the moment it comes to standstill, it congeals. And out comes by far more than what went in. Where does the far more come from? Seemingly from nothing. But it isn't nothing. It comes from heat, created energy from the explosion. The heat congeals and creates particles like an electron or a positron, or quarks and gluons. Then you look at the masses. What are they? An electron's mass is a 10,000th of a trillionth of a trillionth of 1 gram. Or what you got there? It's a mathematical figure. The only way you get mass is by dividing the energy that you have by Einstein's c squared. That's how you get mass. No one has ever put an electron on a scale and found it's a 10,000th
A lot
of a
of things they
trillionth
can't
of
put on the scale, then they put the values like the speed of
Yeah,
light.
yeah.
They can't test it.
Yeah,
Sound of speed of sound.
Absolutely.
That's not tested.
Absolutely.
And a lot of things they can't test it, and they are thinking it's a fact. it's just a theory, it's just the assumptions, and we base all the whole thing like I understand from your thing, like the evolution came after the creation.
Yeah.
So, but who believes in Darwin theory, he rejects the creation. You know what I
That
mean?
has to come first. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, that has to come
That
first.
is exactly the point that he attacks.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Because Darwin put his facts together in the 1850s, 1860s, published in 1859. And it wasn't a completed theory. It was the best he could do in 1859. Meanwhile, DNA proved 100 years later, after Darwin, that most of his ideas are sound, but some are faulty.
Probabilities, yes.
Well, obviously. He did not have the understanding, and he had the wrong so-called philosophy. His philosophy was based on Newton and Laplace, materialist philosophy. And that is why Darwin has flaws.
Yes.
Because materialism is dead.
Yes.
But science teachers cannot understand it, don't want to understand it, and we argue black and blue 24 hours a day. Materialism is true, because Newton can't be wrong. It's the most idiotic argument you can ever hear.
So
Newton was completely wrong. Completely. His theory of gravity is rubbish,
I'm trying to
because
like,
there is no force that jumps from the earth to the moon. An invisible force,
I
a
just want to add
mysterious
something so I
force.
understand like we are on the same page. So you are trying to say like a lot of people are believing in science as a religion to escape from a lot of things.
Exactly.
Well,
I'll tell you something. On the 31st of March 2013, I remember it well, I put on the internet, WordPress and Google an article called "Is Religion the New Science? Is Science the New Religion?" It had 250,000 a few hits in 4 months, nearly all Americans. There were 10 or 12 from Europe and there were 6 or 8 from Australia, but most of them were from America. Most responses that I got were positive. One of them said, "I'm a college teacher in North Carolina. I presented your article to the class, photocopies, to read and hand in an essay of 500 words within 2 weeks." And I wrote back, "You can divide your students into 3 groups. One, those who are religious." They say, science has nothing to do with religion.
No, science.
Two.
Some of the religions, they go hand in hand with science.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. 2, you will get those who are scientifically trained, meaning followers of Darwin, Newton, etc., materialists. They will say, religion are not facts, there's superstition, there's supernatural beliefs, nonsense.